Hello, hello, hello. How's it going out there, everybody? Welcome to the stream. Hold on, we gotta hit record. Just give me a moment here. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, we are recording. Welcome, everybody, to the stream. We are hitting play. We are trying to play the disc. It says it can't play the disc. Oh my god. That's okay. Okay, we got one camera set up here. Back camera here. Let's see. There it is, back camera. Oh, it's got the display on. Oh, well. That's okay. Well, I hope we're streaming. I think we're streaming. And, yeah, looks like we're streaming. Okay, let's get to the show. I'm just gonna stop yakking, okay? I'm just gonna stop yakking.
Brought to you only by Moody Video.
Astronauts are often accused of not being able to express themselves very well.
Once every year, the Reef also hosts one of the most incredible spectacles found anywhere in the oceans.
Even a perfect meal of rotten meat and bugs wouldn't be complete without a dessert of tangy huckleberries. By late summer, these berries will have fermented, and it's not unusual to see Bruins staggering under the influence of berry booze.
Looks like it's going to be a 4-car.
Heck, it's bad enough. Old Bullwinkle almost drowns for his lunch. Now he's in danger of getting kicked to death. Oh, good grief. Blowing bubbles? Bullwinkle, quit playing with
Marvel
your
at the magnificence. Thrill to the grand detail. There is a master creator, and this universe is the work of his hands. Join us for the unforgettable Journeys to the Edge of Creation, brought to you only by Moody Video.
Yeah, we got him.
Including the human. The reef lives on, but not necessarily every coral animal. What's far more likely is that the spawn will become somebody else's food.
When the spawning starts, the first thing I notice is the increased activity on the reef. The water turns murky. Tiny polychaete worms swarm around eating and probably spawning too. Minnow-sized fish come to feast, and larger predators are
Well, under the influence at the time of the collision.
Okay, as I said before, you are under arrest for driving under the influence of alcohol. Okay.
I feel a real sense of excitement diving during the spawn. The promise of new life was always exhilarating to me, but this is reproduction on an almost incomprehensible scale.
All spawn apparently triggers the spawning of other, creating a rich protein-filled broth. In the weeks following the initial spawn, the reef waters offer vital nourishment for a fantastic host of sea creatures. Many open ocean creatures appear in Ningaloo only during this period. Giant mantas and other rays are frequent visitors.
Of behavior. The brutal binding of babies' heads to change their shape would be an unspeakable crime in our society, as would the crude sharpening of teeth, or common in many parts of our world. But why? Why these strange cultural phenomena in a day of scientific discovery and advancement? These things invite inquiry, study, and explanation. The staff of Moody Institute of Science has journeyed to remote...
Whale sharks usually begin appearing in significant numbers at Ningaloo about 2 weeks after the spawning. I know.
Hey, wait a minute here, fellas. These two rutting antelope bucks are getting way too serious about rutting business. Hey, take it easy there.
One reason the sea will probably always remain mysterious is its tremendous vastness. Even a giant like the whale shark can hide in it with ease.
Boy, these guys are so busy fighting, they don't even have time for the girls.
But sometimes the shark's own grand proportions betray them.
And of course,
when one
the
swims
does
near
are
the
not
surface,
overly
it can often be
impressed
seen
by all
clearly
this
from the sky.
bravado.
After several hours, the pilot has spotted something about a mile from the boat.
I don't know why these guys are going at it so hot and heavy. Plenty of dough.
Roughly 100 meters.
Calling these people primitives...
That's better. It looks like this bighorn ram has found true love at first sight.
After years of anticipation, I find myself a few feet away from this amazing animal. It's the kind of experience words can't describe. In the jargon of the day, I'd say that on a scale of 1 to 10, it's definitely an 11. I'm awestruck.
Even a small whale shark is an impressive animal, though a fully grown male might grow to more than twice as long as this one. The largest whale shark sighted so far was reported to be 50 feet long, and yet these behemoths pose no real threat to humans. The species boasts an impressive list of superlatives. Not only is it the largest shark and the largest fish in the ocean, the whale shark is in fact the largest cold-blooded animal on Earth. But this youngster proves somewhat shy. After just a few minutes, the creature disappears deep into the gloom.
I'm gonna get one. Oh boy, oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. I'm gonna get one.
Hey, Yellowhead, found a girlfriend yet? No? Feeling any better about it? Oh, sorry I asked. Here's a frustrated redhead duck. He's got to be wondering what it takes to get this
snake, following it as it swam and dove. I was thinking about how these graceful creatures are potentially dangerous, with a potent venom, but they have such a small mouth, they are rarely able to bite anyone. What I wasn't thinking about was how deep I was going.
A diver must always be aware when diving deep, paying careful attention to his gauges. On return to the surface, he may need to decompress periodically to avoid the dangerous condition called the bends. On his way back to the boat, Pitcairn must stop at 20 feet and again at 10 feet to decompress. But meanwhile,
The Mayas produced an architecture that ranks high in...
Ironically, it's not the
astronomers and mathematicians of amazing... thousands of years. The Maya...
I wonder how this other bull feels about that cow. From that lip curl, maybe a 3?
for their
Boy,
abundance
we've
of
got
sharks.
pretty particular bulls.
Several different species prowl the shallows.
I wonder
in
how
their
picky this bull
search for
is.
food. Nurse sharks
Oh.
and white-tipped reef sharks are among the... The second largest species, after whale sharks, is the basking shark. Usually found in colder waters, these plankton eaters aren't dangerous. But the third largest shark is a different story. The great white shark is quite common in Australian waters, and it's a formidable predator. Great whites are usually found in the cooler seas of the southern coast, and as far as we know, have never been spotted at Ningalo.
Of bachelorhood. In fact, he was last seen headed for a roost in the eaves of a monastery in Nepal.
Is closely related to the whale shark.
The trials and tribulations of the young in the animal kingdom.
Is fairly lethargic as sharks go. It's rarely seen.
Tiny bear cub is a good example. In a few short months, this bear will have matured enough to move through a tree effortlessly. But on his first trip up a small pine tree, it takes all of this cub's paws and even his teeth.
a sense of wonder, because I believe that when people see how beautiful this wilderness is, they'll want to protect it. But shooting a coral spawn can be a problem. Usually the best situation for filming is crystal clear water and strong sunlight, which obviously isn't the situation in these dark, cloudy waters. So I just turn on the camera and hope the spectacle will shine through.
It's referred to as a positional system.
Major damage to the car.
Yeah, this front end is done.
What'd you hit up here?
I hit this fence and I hit
The cable box?
No, I hit the ground.
You hit the ground?
Ditch,
Took
yeah.
out the front?
Yeah.
This is part.
And can you find the blue sheep in the Himalayas? Now you see them. Hopefully their chief predator, the snow leopard, does not. The camouflage in the wide world undersea may be the most mystifying of all. Here's a remarkable glimpse of life in a seaweed forest off the coast of southern Australia. There's a famed monster of mythology in this picture. No, not that.
Assault and resisting arrest. If convicted, he faces up to 11.5 years in prison and fines of up to 87.
recognized as a plant.
In this incident.
But some creatures have evolved ways to avoid being poisoned, like this crab, in an upside-down jelly, protected from predators.
Of seahorse, as you can play, if you can disentangle it.
Search for food.
In pursuit of a motorcycle northbound in the trail. You stop for me.
There's another world on.
The bridge has been washed out. You'll have to come.
Do you have any idea how long it'll be before we can get through?
I'm afraid it won't be for some time.
Is there any other way across the border?
No, sir. All the other bridges have been washed out, too.
Do you know of any place?
vindictive man, and I'm afraid he'll make trouble for you.
He has no political influence in Canada.
Ma! Ma!
Or whale sharks in earnest.
And tops, we find another group of so-called primitive people. These are the Quechuas.
Is teaching the lamb a lesson to stay close.
To spend their lives in service, caring for the possessions of others.
It was a lesson well learned. It looks like our little lamb last.
But there seems to be no desire on the part of the Quechua to do anything but remain numb, anesthetized to life. So, we ask again, are these primitive people, or could these too be decadents?
No. He's out in the kitchen scaring up something.
Where the city of
Ah, finally, the pause that refreshes.
That the species might be mating here. Pitcairn holds back, waiting to see if the huge fish reacts to his presence. The giant simply stares back, apparently unperturbed.
Answered with a sharp bite to the offending paw, and the biting and pushing never seems to end. What do you mean? I'm old enough to get my own life.
necessary. The massive boulders of Sacsayhuaman were fitted together.
There's a good groundswell there, George.
And heaved the ground beneath.
Few days, Pitcairn and his team tracked dozens of whale sharks. On occasion, the crew is able to follow one fish for hours.
Fuzzy and cute, but they are no match for predators at this age. Encounters between wild animals.
The average fully grown whale shark reaches
This youngster wants to see a goat.
of 20,000 pounds, as big as a city bus.
But skulls have been found in ancient Peruvian burial grounds, which yield astonishing evidence not only of brain surgery, but of bone regeneration following surgery. In other words, successful brain surgery was...
We're responding to a vehicle accident down Route 80 near Christian. It's prom night here in Man.
Talk about
information we have this is that a vehicle is and there are injuries
here
and
focusing a
accidents.
beam of
Wild. I like it here.
Suit yourself. I'm sorry. This way, please. I'll be with you in a minute, Mr. Smith.
Thank you.
a Herculean effort we'll never forget. But pound for pound,
Hang right there a minute. Remember, don't worry.
There it was generously used for building palaces, temples, gabled houses, stairways, and at least in those last days, there were torture chambers and altars for human sacrifice. Stone was also used for building parapets and towers. Even though the Incas were almost certain to have had enemies, it is doubtful that the alarm sounded often for Machu Picchu, because the location of the fortress
The entire world to use for a potty. But all three just
civilization was unable to guard itself from corruption within. There was no security against lust for power among the rulers, or hatred and violence among the people themselves. And in the early 1500s, a divided kingdom collapsed.
a turtle tasked of climbing onto a board. The front foot is up. Now the
I can't see anybody. There's got to be somebody in here.
Our field of water has a wide variety of sounds, unusual places.
Andy, come here.
The Indri.
If you guys can get me something to lodge this thing up.
We got blocking, right?
All right. All right, we're going to listen. Where's the chief here, somebody? See if we can step.
The word lemur means ghost. As they travel through the treetops day and night,
whoa, this walking is tougher than I thought.
one of them in your living room. And yet, everything we know about them would fit neatly in a booklet on your coffee table.
The Southeast Asian siamang from the gibbon family has a large resonating throat sac which amplifies its voice.
Looks like a gas truck.
Across great valleys.
You can smell the gas.
They also sing to
it's
each
real
other.
thick around here right now.
Feel like they're showing off a bit. You should have been born with wings. This cub grizzly bear follows close to mama. Is the cub fearful of predators? Or is there another reason why it wants to get close to its mama? Aha, just as we thought. It's lunchtime. The sow grizzly bear lies on her back, and the hungry cub can't quite decide which milk source is the best, so it samples a little from each one.
No, maybe this one down here would better. No, this top one is better.
Oh, make up your mind, all
Why this?
And I'll be looking for you when we get there.
In the course of his career, Pitcairn has explored some of the most spectacular and significant territory underwater. And yet, rarely has he encountered a mystery as enticing as this one. Giant manta
Factors such as widespread epidemic,
live. They are rarely
earthquakes, famine, disrupted ecology, or any one of a dozen other reasons, that these were responsible for the downfall. Now, there can be no question that many of these factors have been involved in the downfall of civilizations. But once again, were they the primary cause? It is interesting tendency. These very things.
Elephant sound we're most familiar with. But they sort of rumble to communicate with each other, and they seem to have lots to say. When they stop, it's a sign they sense danger, and their strong family ties are immediately evident. Elephants are vegetarians, eating up to 500 pounds of vegetation daily and drinking up to 40 gallons of water at one time. Cows and their calves live in family units under the direction of a mature female, to whom every other member of the group is related, and each member recognizes the call of another in the symphony of the wild. If there is ever an animal Olympics, our candidate for the long jump is the sifaka. You'll rarely see a better demonstration of two invaluable primate talents, the ability to judge distance and to take hold when landing. Here's the pairs competition.
Called by my name shall...
Traditional boats are still carved by hand in the time-honored style. Though today, axles used for carving.
Absolutely amazing the destruction that happens in something like this. Reminds you how fragile life is.
I got it.
The oil truck was treated...
A Horace bank cashier. I've seen your...
Right to go where I like and do what I please.
How much did you get away with? I could find out for myself.
And the people have been ejected from the vehicle. What, you got a car down over the embankment there?
Remains pristine, thanks largely to Yappi's efforts to control development.
Amphibious beetle. He's actually underwater. That's his reflection.
Old things are passed away, and all things have become new. Think what this could
be. The freestyle swim.
Time I saw the
cat take to water.
Genuinely awestruck. They are regal creatures, shy and yet commanding.
Special goal. Feline. One animal we'll never forget.
If you don't succeed at...
Nor will we ever forget
finally a nice
mouse that made the talk show circuit. A close encounter of a most unusual kind.
As he turned and moved off, I couldn't help wondering which of us was sizing up for more.
Not too much unusual about a rabbit. Until
side, you can see his tire tracks in the dirt. He almost ran off the road over here.
The problem for farmers is that rabbits and sheep get along
back in the truck. Okay.
This close encounter threatens the farmer's livelihood. Millions of pounds of vegetables vanish each year into the stomachs of the voracious vegetarian, the rabbit. Oxpeckers and giraffes are the best of friends. In a mutually agreeable arrangement, the oxpecker gets a free lunch, and the giraffe comes away clean. This rattlesnake has had it with the midday sun. It knows exactly where to go to beat the heat. Problem is, this hole is already occupied by its original digger, a gopher tortoise.
Guilty to DW. Virginia.
Face off. It either frightens the snake or baffles it.
Because the other one was on the ground. Right. So I grabbed a rock and I smashed up and I pulled him out.
Here's a rare close encounter at the bottom of the world.
Ah, well, it's back to the frozen dinners. We all know how boring that can be.
And this soldier fish.
Hey, wait a minute. These mallards better be feeding underwater or else we're getting mooned.
Superbly camouflaged, a crocodile fish stares back from its perch.
Oh, it looks like... What's poor Billy Goat got to do to catch that nanny's eye?
An eager-looking moray eagle
Got a couple of
lurks
lovesick
in a small
muley bucks
crevice.
fighting it out. I won. No, you did not.
A regal angelfish appears to tease him, staying just out of reach.
I won. You did not.
Give me a funny...
Okay, well, how about that, everybody? We're pretty close to, well, we're over halfway now, so we're well on our way. I had to rewind a few of the tapes already, so that's a sign that we've been at it for a bit. Anyways, I'm gonna stop yapping. Thanks everybody for watching. We have 5 viewers. Five viewers, and please don't leave. We got more to come. I'm gonna stop yapping.
Come on now. Break it up before somebody gets hurt.
A school of trevally jack swims by, prowling for smaller prey.
To study the so-called primitive peoples and to record evidence of their strange ways of life, of their spiritual nightmare, of lives dominated by witchcraft,
right here at speed.
of lives that hang by a slender thread because of tribal and family feuds, because of malnutrition, because of disease. And the more we have studied these people, the more thoughtful we have become about
The turf below.
what to call them.
How about that Phillips time?
Is this the noble savage? This
Yeah, is quick.
astral scene? Would you call...
Hedgehogs, well cushioned by their spines, use them as a safety net. The flying squirrel of Borneo is not your everyday squirrel, certainly not when it goes traveling. They depart and arrive with extraordinary flair.
That's a little odd.
The flying frog has developed a system of its own, sort of a living parachute.
Travel to Yap after viewing Pitcairn.
To impress the ladies first.
There was a time when hundreds of these cities were spread across Central America, along with thousands of smaller villages. Cities such as Tikal, cities which were flourishing when Pompeii was buried. The Maya civilization was forming possibly as early as 1500 BC, but the culture reached its peak between 300 BC countries now known as El Salvador.
Visit only briefly and then return to the open sea. And also noted another interesting clue. At times, there may be signals than
particular bulls around here. I wonder how picky this bull is. Oh, partner. Looks like love at first sight. Finally, a perfect match is made.
And our final rival. Remember what goes on.
Actual mating in the animal world is usually very brief. Uh-oh, all that amorous action too much for our frustrated little yellowhead. I'm afraid our feathered friend is on the verge of taking a vow.
Once in a great while, a filmmaker is lucky enough to see a behavior as clearly as if it were choreographed just for the camera.
While mature wild animals can move easily throughout their forest homes, oftentimes young animals show little resemblance of the grace and agility that will be their trademark when fully.
Is a record.
I have seen it.
The cycle, the table could be.
When the first giant matter.
I feel uncomfortable for you. All right, give me your hand.
Did you find the body, Andy?
Uh-huh.
You sure he was dead when you found him?
Well, he didn't say whether he was or not, and I didn't stop to ask no questions. Hey, you ain't thinking maybe I done it?
Never mind what I'm thinking. You answer my question.
Well, I didn't have no reason to...
Where? Back down. I think that'll work good. Yeah, back down.
Your room. And I heard him say he could kill the other fella.
So you had a fight with the corpse, huh?
My father objected to Alan and I being married, that was all.
Let him answer my question. And I'm warning you, whatever you say can be used against you. Where were you when the murder was completed?
Was rather
so we rolled her on her.
Most unusual.
No, when I was alone.
Well, that's not much of an alibi. And the corpse was trying to call the state police to have you arrested for kidnapping. Well, you can't beat that for a motive. I guess we can call this crime solved without much trouble.
You're more stupid than usual, Sheriff. That boy isn't a murderer.
Maybe you were mixed up in this, too. I've had my suspicion about your business here at the tavern for a long while.
Yes, I noticed that. It's been very amusing.
Yeah, well, maybe it won't be so funny one of these days.
This species of vegetarian
He's looking around upstairs.
aquarium and your fingers.
No, I'm...
Just put
This young bull elk calf will one day...
Marmosets are small, tree-dwelling primates with long, furry tails. They live amongst the branches of forest trees, which provide a welcome and varied diet.
Took these astonishing photos. The young ray emerged slowly from its mother, wrapped in its own wings. Once unfurled,
Sharp teeth to cut a hole in. Enjoy the sweet, nourishing gum found inside.
and then the two parted company, perhaps forever. No one before or since has ever seen the moment of new life. Immature mantas
of the temple at Bonham Park. Here we find the oft-repeated story of disregard for the value of human life.
Anybody noticed yet? Okay, I'll make a nuisance of myself until somebody notices me.
I knew the key to it all was patience. But I also knew I only had a few more days at Yap.
Just 3 days before Pitcairn plans to leave Micronesia,
Can't take a howler to the supermarket.
rain. In the tropics, it is a fact of life. But this is a day.
When animals go one-on-one,
Murky
it's mostly
seas make it impossible to
for territorial rights. Kangaroos are widely admired for their prowess in boxing.
From within. And today, as we...
Some of the other one-on-one styles are less predictable, but no less fascinating to peek in on. Gorillas have a way of their own. They let off a good deal of steam without harm.
Into the channel, near the area called Manta.
Rabbits one-on-one.
The milk is located on.
Is followed by a train of males.
Mom says no more.
Mudskippers are noted for their ability to climb, walk, and skip about out of water.
Almost certainly.
While on land, they breathe air and moisture stored in their gill chambers.
Roll in the dirt.
Now, why don't you confess and take life instead of the chair?
I tell you, I've nothing to confess.
Oh, now, you're just being foolish, that's all. You can't beat this case. Tim Winfield's got a lot of important friends, and they'll make it their business to see that you're convicted.
Run, Alan, run!
What do you mean? I got to get my own lunch.
The same country of Peru. The
You didn't hurt yourself.
Come here.
One more astonishing vision in store for Fyodor Pitcairn.
These goslings are fuzzy and cute, but they are no match for predators at this age. That's why Mama stays close. Encounters between wild animals and people are always memorable. This youngster wants to see a goat. But wisely.
Even today.
Because he's been taught.
These would peel off in twos. Drink at last.
The first to be born in the spring can produce their own young that
Secret world of the giant manta rays. It is a beautiful and untamed world. And like all the ocean wilds, we must value and protect it so it can thrive for generations to come.
Less than 200 yards away, and they brought along their dog. So when Gary is in the middle of this video demonstration,
Capybaras swim and dive well, usually entering the water to elude predators. And if baby hasn't learned to swim yet, there's always room on Mama's back. Elephants are the largest and most powerful land mammals. But when it comes to their family, they are remarkably gentle.
looks like this hawk is just kind of picking at his... Oh, to heck with manners. Just slurp it down like one big...
Seashell trumpets echo through the mountains here, as they must have during ancient religious festivals. They remind us of the close...
Silverleaf monkeys are the great gymnasts of the far eastern jungles. Are a totally different color from the parents. Experts say that's nature's way of helping mom and dad keep an eye on the kids. In the forests of Costa Rica, coatis are everywhere. The gestation period for these colorful creatures is only 77 days, and a litter consists of 2 to 6. Coatis hold their slender, darkly banded tails erect as they move.
Ladies and gentlemen, watch this turtle perform the difficult for a turtle task of climbing onto a board. The back foot, the front foot is up. Now the back foot is coming up, and the other there. Seems like turtles make everything.
Enemies. It is doubtful that the alarm sounded often for Machu Picchu.
The drama of the prey and predator struggle is never so desperate as when the young are involved. This killdeer is too small to defend its eggs, so it pretends it has a broken wing to lure a predator away from its nest.
But all this security merely destined Machu Picchu to become a symbol of a last retreat. Because in spite of its intelligent organization and great military strength, the Inca civilization was unable to guard itself from corruption within.
Fooled again. This calf elk is totally helpless.
Cougar or puma, they care for their offspring in a very special way.
Whoa, this walking is tougher than I thought. Whoa, easy. Whoa.
Good effort to get the passenger out. He broke the passenger side window.
For 10.
Passenger
Pendant
throws
upon
himself
mother.
out of the passenger side window. As he did that, he was fully engulfed in flames also.
I think I've got it. Whoa. These blackbird chicks find the calf elk's antics quite amusing.
though today, axes replace shells used for carving long ago. Today's...
Or is there another reason why?
To answer this question, it is necessary first to plot the technical and cultural achievements of various civilizations against the time span of recorded history. And then use
style sails.
This is the best, so it samples a little from each one.
Five weeks old. They begin to recognize and respond to the cougar language. Growls, mews, and bird-like chirps designed to alert them to danger or call them for food.
Oh, make up your mind already.
Babylon, contributor to the development of the sundial, the potter's wheel, the vault.
Her natural splendor below the surface is even more spectacular. Home to a wealth of undersea life, Yap's greatest treasure is the rare abundance of giant manta rays.
I remember the first time I saw the giant rays.
But Mama is not far away. The two cubs look big, but look behind them when the sow appears.
He appeared fixed on me. And when one bulging eye was only a foot from
engineering skill. Maya, intellectual giants of Central America. Why this pattern? Why should civilization after civilization rise to heights of magnificence only
1,000 pounds, and yet they are among...
Watch as this unsuspecting photographer learns an expensive lesson. And now we get a...
It flies more than swims. And its extraordinary front fins roll up to resemble horns. Bizarre appendages that long ago inspired its common...
Crossing the center line and stuff when they're coming in cars and I'm afraid he's going to hit somebody. Can you holler at Muskogee and see where that trooper's going to be at up north? We're going to need to get this guy shut down.
Jaw.
They're extremely intriguing animals, and I'm struck by how very little we know about them. Basic questions like how long they live and how many exist remain profound mysteries.
There's someone hiding. Find out who that is. Come out with your hands up or I'll shoot. You thought you could escape the gallows, eh? I'll make sure you don't try that again. Go on, get upstairs. I'll have you free in a minute.
There's plenty to see in the coral reefs of Yap. This thriving ecosystem supports a spectacular variety and volume of life. A multitude of different fish feed on the coral, like these raccoon butterfly fish, a two-barred goatfish, and this soldier fish. Superbly camouflaged, a crocodile fish stares back from its perch on the reef. An eager-looking moray eel lurks in a small crevice. A regal angelfish appears to tease him, staying just out of reach.
Christ, God's Son, to be your personal leader, and Christ will change the whole direction of your life. From a demoralizing descent to a dynamic...
Our patrol unit was able to get to the intersection before they were, but we were just maybe a second or two ahead of them. Best we could do was control their movement, which way they turned on the road we're on now, which is 132. We weren't able to put out our stop stick, which is a device used as a roadblock to deflate the tires of the vehicle we're pursuing. The guys want to wreck.
Affirmative.
Okay, well, it just came on the radio now. They gave us the guy's address off his license plate. And the problem we're going to come into now is the guy knows this area. So it looks like he's trying to get home. He just crashed.
The females stay together for life.
You heard him. Give me my keys.
All right.
This variety of corals, with evocative names like staghorn, chalice, and lettuce coral. There are still no giant mantas, but a few smaller spotted eagle rays glide by. Just 5 feet across, they are easy to distinguish by their rounded heads.
Okay, that concludes our session for tonight. I hope you had fun. I know I had fun. So, yeah. Follow on Instagram. I'm pretty active on there with the stories. Trying to be active everywhere, but it's tough, you know. So anyways, I'm not going to take up too much more of your time. I just wanted to say good evening, good night. Thanks for watching. Keep fit. And have fun. We are going to end. You know it. We're going to end on purple. We're going to end on purple. You know it. You know we're going to end on purple.